Vanessa Ford's voice, it just cuts through the static, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So clear but chilling. Houston, I think I'm the only one left.
Yeah. And just moments before that, the cabin pressure had plummeted.
Reports were already coming in, right? Hagen, Redmond, Danes,
Yeah.
unconscious,
Yeah.
maybe worse.
Possibly dead. It's this scenario you push to the back of your mind, losing all three in the cabin.
Unthinkable
Hmm.
until it happens. And that's the world, the raw, high-stakes world we're diving into today. We're going straight to the source material here.
Absolutely. And right there, at the heart of it all, watching from Mission Control, is Joan Goodwin.
Her story is fascinating. Definitely not the typical path to NASA.
Not at all. I mean, picture this. A brilliant scientist, PhD focused on magnetic structures in the solar corona that's basically the sun's outer atmosphere.
Okay.
And she finds herself teaching freshmen the definition of a parsec at Rice University.
A parsec, right? That's a distance thing in astronomy.
Exactly. About 3.26 light years.
Okay.
So yeah, a bit of a shift from solar corona research to, well, astronomy 101. It's such an unlikely starting point for the journey she ended up on.
It really is. So, okay, for this deep dive, our mission really is to unpack Joan Goodwin's whole extraordinary experience.
Yeah, peel back the layers.
We want to get into the human stories, the connections, the sacrifices.
Yeah.
Stuff that often gets hidden behind the shiny image of space exploration.
Right. The official story versus the reality.
Exactly. So you'll get a shortcut, really, to understanding how personal ambition and just relentless pressure mix in pioneering the unknown.
And it all started, or at least this NASA chapter did, about 7 years before that crisis in space. Joan gets this phone call from her younger sister, Barbara.
Just a casual call.
Seemed like it. Barbara mentioned this commercial she saw late one night. It had this tagline.
What with it?
This is your NASA, a space agency embarked on a mission to improve the quality of life on planet Earth.
Huh. Improve the quality of life on Earth. Yeah, that's a powerful hook. What was it about that specifically, do you think, that hit Joan so hard? She was already dealing with, the cosmos.
I think. Well, for Joan, who felt like she was spending her days teaching basics to 18-year-olds, something just clicked.
Right.
It wasn't just about exploring space. It was about purpose, connecting that exploration back to improving life here. It tapped into something deeper for her, beyond the purely academic.
And look where it led her. Joining the astronaut corps, moving into this little one-bedroom apartment near campus.
And almost immediately, she found her people, Donna and Griff.
They clicked fast, didn't they?
So fast. Like, using Griff's formal name felt weird almost right away.
And they had that inside joke.
Oh, yeah. But that's not going to happen here. It was their way of dealing with the absolute weirdness of being at NASA.
Griff used it first.
Yeah, about not being the big shot anymore. Then Donna, about her complicated love life.
And Joan, too.
Oh, yeah, Joan used it, too, kind of sarcastically, about being the astronomy nerd. It just shows how quickly those bonds form when you're in that kind of intense, elite place.
So that first all-astronauts meeting must have been intimidating. What did she notice? Who stood out?
Oh, it definitely set a tone. She saw Lydia Danes described as slight, wiry, moving with this intense focus.
Okay.
Joan thought she looked, quote, terrifyingly invincible.
Wow.
And Donna apparently pointed out that Lydia always made sure people knew she was a trauma surgeon, not just an ER doctor, very specific.
Projecting confidence, maybe?
Or something like that. And then there was Vanessa Ford.
Vanessa.
Curly hair pulled back, posture perfect, tall, broad shoulders. And the second Vanessa took off her sunglasses, looked right at Antonio. The thought in Joan's head was just, that's an astronaut.
Like the embodiment of it.
Exactly. Instant recognition. Someone who just looked the part, felt the part.
It's amazing how quickly she got immersed. She was even explaining the astronaut pins to her niece, Frances, right? Over the phone.
Yeah, the silver star, meaning you're ready to fly, and the gold one, meaning you've actually been to space.
And she told Frances, maybe one day. What a thing to say to a kid.
Yeah, and she added, if you work hard at it, then you will. Passing on that dream, but also, the reality check wasn't far behind.
Oh.
Jack, one of the senior astronauts, brought it home. Hard. Played this 17-second audio recording.
Don't tell me. Apollo 1.
Apollo 1. The fire. You hear the men screaming, scrambling, trapped.
Oh, God.
Joan said she felt every muscle just seize up, like she was there, feeling what it must have been like knowing you're about to die.
That must have grounded the whole astronaut dream in a terrifying way.
Completely. And it cemented this deep fear, especially thinking about Frances. What would happen to her if something happened to Joan? The shuttle, she wrote, could feel like nothing more than a pair of wax wings.
Wax wings, like Icarus.
Wow.
So confronting that danger.
Mm.
And then she meets Vanessa properly against that backdrop.
Yeah, the first real meeting seemed almost fated. It was at this place, Frenchie's. Joan apparently sensed Vanessa before she even saw her walk in.
And Vanessa, what was she like up close?
Had these light golden brown eyes, very direct, almost unsettling the way she spoke. Called herself a real killer when it came to ambition.
A real killer. That's blunt.
Very. But she also told Joan she didn't think they'd be pitted against each other.
Why not?
Different expertise. Vanessa was an aeronautical engineer. Joan corrected her, said she was an astronomer.
That distinction again. Why was that so important to Joan? And what does that real killer ambition tell us about NASA then?
Well, the distinction for Joan was key. She saw astrophysics as studying the physics of space, whereas astronomy, her field, focused on space itself, the sun specifically.
Okay.
But for her, it was deeper. She said it's all connected. The physics, the math, sure, but also anthropology, mythology, even theology. It speaks to her whole worldview.
So it wasn't just a job title.
No, not at all. And it tied into this internal conflict she felt, this sense of pretending to be somebody else to fit into NASA's culture. You know, calling people by first names when maybe she shouldn't have, things like that.
That struggle between fitting in and staying true to yourself, that must be amplified in a place like NASA.
Hugely, which is why those personal connections become so critical.
Right, like with Donna and Griff, they were her anchors, you said.
Absolutely. The shared jokes, the unspoken support, they were her lifeline, really. An immediate little community they formed. It's how you cope in those high-stress jobs.
And what about Lydia Danes, the terrifyingly invincible trauma surgeon? Did that relationship thaw at all?
It did eventually. Joan initially saw her exactly like that, aloof, maybe superior, like Donna said, thinking her, well, you know.
Yeah, thinks her shit doesn't stink, as the saying goes.
Pretty much. But Joan kept trying. Persistent curiosity, maybe. At a New Year's party, actually.
Oh.
What happened? Joan apparently got her talking, maybe plied her with a bit of beer, joked about midnight kisses, and Lydia just broke down a bit. Really? Confessed how lonely she felt, how self-absorbed she knew she was. It showed this whole other side, you know, the humanity underneath the tough surgeon persona.
It reminds you, everyone's got their own stuff going on, even the ones who seem untouchable.
Exactly. And that kind of brings us really to the core relationship here, the one between Joan and Vanessa.
Yes. What drew them together? What did they see in each other?
Well, Vanessa really admired Joan's mind, not just the science, but her deep curiosity, her commitment to the world, the philosophical side.
Hey, Joe.
I think she saw maybe a shared intensity, but also moments of surprising tenderness.
Like what?
Like Vanessa suddenly suggesting they fly to Glacier Park for dinner. Just fly there, eat, and look at the stars.
Wow. That's kind of a date.
Isn't it? Or even simpler things, like Vanessa making Joan breakfast, this grittier soul.
Yeah.
Small, intimate moments, but because of the time, the environment.
They had to keep it secret.
Completely secret. Living privately, meeting at Vanessa's off-campus place. It shows the huge personal cost of trying to live authentically back then, especially in that world.
And Vanessa was facing professional challenges too, right? Because she was a woman.
Oh, definitely. It was a constant frustration for her, the bias towards military pilots, mostly men obviously, for astronaut roles.
Were there specifics?
Yeah, limitations like not being allowed to fly from the backseat of a T-38. That's the supersonic jet trainer they use.
So real, tangible barriers.
Absolutely. And Joan saw it, she got it, said NASA should have accounted for the gap in military opportunities for women long before now. It wasn't just Vanessa's problem, it was systemic.
And Joan's personal life got more complicated too, with her niece, Frances.
Yeah, that was a huge shift. Her sister, Barbara, was apparently quite careless, left Frances alone outside school one day for like half an hour or more.
Oh, no.
So Joan just took Frances in, became her effective single parent.
Wow. While training to be an astronaut.
While doing all of it. And there was ongoing friction with Barbara, who kept accusing Joan of being judgmental. It just added this whole other layer of responsibility, of vulnerability to Joan's life at NASA.
Like layer most of her colleagues probably didn't have.
Exactly. And then came this warning from Antonio, a director at NASA.
Warning. About what?
About security clearances. About avoiding, and this is the phrase, appearances of sexual deviation. Because of blackmail risks.
Appearances of... Wow. That sounds less like advice and more like
A veiled threat. Yeah, that's how it reads.
It was a stark reminder of the reality for LGBTQ+ individuals then,
Yeah.
especially in sensitive government jobs.
Hmm.
Moral character clauses, blackmail. It was a real danger.
So NASA, even being forward-thinking scientifically, was still bound by those societal prejudices.
Very much so. It forced people like Joan and Vanessa into these incredibly difficult positions, risking everything if they were exposed.
So this warning, plus taking care of Francis, it led Joan to make a big decision.
A huge one. She proactively went to Antonio and requested a permanent job in mission control, leaving the flight path.
Leaving the flight path, she framed it strategically, of course. Said, I belong on the ground, mentioned being unflappable, having good relationships with the astronaut.
Made it sound like a logical career move.
Exactly. But underneath, what was she really doing? She was protecting Francis. And she was protecting Vanessa's career, stepping out of the direct spotlight herself.
Taking herself out of the equation, in a way, to shield them.
It was a profound sacrifice, really. Very strategic, very protective.
But trying to protect Vanessa also meant trying to end things, didn't it?
It did. Joan attempted to break up with Vanessa, believed it was necessary for Vanessa's career, for her safety.
How did Vanessa react?
Powerfully, emotionally. She just refused, utterly refused, culminating in that defiant line.
But what about the space shuttle?
Yeah, if it's you or the space shuttle, fuck the space shuttle.
Wow. Talk about choosing love over ambition.
It's incredible, isn't it? In that environment, with everything Vanessa had worked for on the line, love won out. That raw honesty led them to reconcile, to agree they had to find a way, no matter what.
It shows how deep that connection was. Stronger than anything NASA could throw at them, or so they hoped.
Yeah. It's a testament to prioritizing human connection above all else, even when the stakes are sky high.
And those stakes were about to get higher than ever. The STS-LR9 mission.
The ultimate test. Vanessa was on the crew, Steve as commander, Hank, Lydia, and Griff.
Griff, Joan's close friend.
Her close friend, yeah. And there was this moment just before launch, apparently they were playing Scrabble. Just a normal, casual game.
The calm before the storm.
Literally. Because then the crisis hits. We're back where we started. Pressure drops. Hagen, Redmond, Dane's unconscious.
And Vanessa's voice. I think I am the only one left. Ground control hearing they might already be dead.
Unimaginable. And Vanessa up there alone. Her actions were just extraordinary.
What did she do?
Prepped for an EVA, a spacewalk completely alone, which is incredibly risky. Feared she might dislocate her shoulder doing it. Then moved Steve, Hank, and Lydia, all unconscious, into the airlock, trying to save them.
Just the physical effort, the mental strength required.
It's unbelievable. While down on the ground, Joan is Capcom.
The capsule communicator, the only one talking directly to the crew.
The only one. And she gets the news about Griff.
Oh no, what happened to him?
Shrapnel. He didn't make it.
And Joan knew this while talking to Vanessa.
She knew, and she had to conceal it, had to keep Vanessa focused on fixing the payload bay doors, on survival. It meant calculated lies.
What an impossible position, the burden of that knowledge.
It's crushing. The source material says her soul just went dormant, her mouth was moving, doing the job, but her heart wasn't there. Her job in that moment wasn't truth, it was survival. Vanessa's survival.
Brutal choice. Prioritizing the mission, the life still fighting, over the immediate devastating truth.
Absolutely. And up there, Vanessa is fighting, frantically trying to fix the latches on those payload bay doors.
Because if they don't close...
Re-entry is impossible. They can't miss the deorbit window, that precise moment to come back safely. It's not an option.
And she's sending messages to Joan.
Yeah, poignant messages, worrying about Lydia, grappling with the potential loss, saying things like, I'm sorry. And mentioning her song was from Sesame Street. Like, this simple, innocent childhood view of space compared to this horror.
Heartbreaking.
And then just, I want to come home.
She even asked Joan to tell Francis something specific.
What?
To tell Francis she was deeply conflicted about the choices she was making, still thinking of them, even then.
Wow. Just bearing witness to that from the ground.
Must have been agony. Mission control was bracing for the worst. Silence. Lost signal expected.
And then
The twist. Completely unexpected. Vanessa's voice suddenly comes through. Clear. Strong.
what did she say?
Lydia Danes is alive. I'm about to land at Edwards.
Oh, yes, alive. The whole room just erupted, cheering, crying, pure relief.
After everything, Lydia survived, and Vanessa landed it.
Against all odds. It's just an incredible testament to resilience, to defiance, to hope when all hope seemed gone.
What an ending to that ordeal. So looking back at Joan's whole journey, from teaching parsecs to that Capcom seat, it's extraordinary.
It really is. It shows that constant balancing act, doesn't it? Professional ambition versus personal life, the risks, those hidden connections forged under pressure.
Themes of sacrifice, resilience, finding where you belong, even when the world makes it hard.
Absolutely. Her story and Vanessa's intertwined with it. Their bond was tested constantly by NASA, by society, by their own fears. But ultimately it held. It was this defiant act of love and commitment.
It makes you think that courage isn't just about the big, flashy moments, the spacewalks. It's also in those quiet, tough choices you make for the people, for the things that truly matter.
Exactly. It's profound.
So maybe the thought to leave you with today, reflecting on Joan and Vanessa, is this. We live in a world that often pushes us towards conformity, right? So what are the radical acts of defiance, maybe in your job, maybe in love, maybe just in being true to yourself, that actually pave the way for something better, for a more open, accepting future?
Yeah, that's a powerful question. Because their story kind of suggests that sometimes. Choosing love, choosing connection over what society or your profession expects, maybe that's not just brave. Maybe that's the most important act of all. Maybe that's the path to everything.